Soil analysis for a forensic chemist. Well, this is very, very important because at many crime scenes you have soil on the base of shoes from people, leaving soil imprints on the floors. You have soil and mud, etc., on tire impressions. So soil analysis is actually a very, very important area of forensic chemistry. And when we look at a soil sample, the whole sample is taken into consideration. It's not just the inorganic and organic components, it's anything else that might be present in that soil sample, like glass fragments and paint. So if we could think of it in terms of steps, right? Step one is macroscopic examination. Right, macroscopic examination, and that is when the soil is screened and any distinguishing features can be identified. So by that I mean things that you don't normally expect. So that would be like glass fragments. Okay, maybe it might be paint chips. It could be metal fragments. All of those are very, very important to sort of honing down where the sample came from. Glass fragments could be maybe because there's been at a site of a crash. Paint chips could be from the paint of the actual vehicle. It could be paint chips from a collision that scraped off and fell in the dirt. It could be maybe a site of manufacturing with a person that comes from a place where there is a lot of paint, and we can narrow down the paint by sending the paint chips off for further analysis. And we'll talk about how we analyse paint samples and look at the actual structure of that. Metal fragments, it could be in industry, so the soil around industry sites will have a lot of metal fragments if it's an industry associated with metal processing, etc. So a lot of these sort of things here are first of all looked at in step one. Step two, if we get the colour right, step two is where they actually look at the particle size. So in soil there's the size of the particles and the shape of the particles can tell us a lot about where it came from. So were the particles, were they large? Are they large, medium, or small? Are they irregular in shape? Are they round? So the actual physical shape of the soil particles, the minerals in the soil, tell us a lot about it. Okay, step three would be looking at the actual mineral content. So here we're looking at the key minerals. The key minerals placed in the soil. So soil has many different compositions. If there's a lot of iron in the soil is going to have more of a red colour to it. It's going to have a lot more oxides in there, iron oxides, and have a red colour. Is it going to have a lot of carbonaceous compounds? So in other words, a lot of limestone, which may suggest that it comes from ocean areas where there is a lot of carbonates in the soil because of the fact of breakdown of limestone and coral, etc., gets transported into the local soil. So what key mineral constituents are there, and can we narrow that down to a particular area or region? And I run out of step for step three, so let's do step four over here. Right, good old squeaky pens. Other identifiers, so in other words, pollen. So pollen is characteristically related to certain areas of plant species, and so by looking at pollen grains under a microscope, we can look at where this soil sample may have originated from. So lots of different areas to do with soil. We could even do organic analysis. So for example, let's put another step 5 in. So does the soil have a lot of organic peat? So unlike inorganic soil, where this has a lot of large minerals, is there a lot of plant decay? That may indicate that the soil has come from a different ecosystem, such as has a lot of organic material breaking down and decomposing. So up in the Blue Mountains or up in the rivers, valleys, etc., there's lots of decomposition of organic matter and leaves. And so that's going to give you a high organic content versus a clay type of soil or a highly mineralized soil. So the actual type of soil can tell you where it's from. So these are a lot of the different things that we look at when we try to look at the origin of soil samples, and to help, I guess, narrow down the location of where they are. Hope that makes sense to you, and I'll see you in the next video.